Hello, world. You've tuned in to Buffs and Blindsides, the essential Survivor 44 recap slash breakdown slash analysis slash if you hate Carson as much as Evan podcast.
You don't. You definitely
Today,
don't.
today we're discussing episode 4. So as always, spoilers ahead. Go watch the show on CBS or Paramount Plus. All right, so we just watched the episode. What are we thinking, Evan?
I'm thinking that I liked Sarah a lot. I thought she was fun. She was normal, which was actually made her unique in this set of players. What a stupid idol hold. Like, I want to feel bad that she went home, but I can't.
It wasn't a real idol though. But yes.
Hers was.
No, it wasn't. It was Carolyn's, right?
No, it was the ex idol. That one was real.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
That was Carolyn's fake idol. Did you not watch the beginning of the episode?
I did. I thought, didn't multiple tribes have the X at their camp though?
No.
I swear to God, I heard the group. Okay, maybe I did not catch the start of the episode. Then what the hell? Okay.
Okay, you missed the start of the episode. So Carolyn, she like created this X thing out of some sticks, and then put some sticks next to the log where Sarah finds this idol, which I assume you saw.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. All right. I'm not gonna lie, I was filing my taxes and I was finishing it up as it started, so I will blame that. Wow, okay. So it was not a real idol? Then just kidding. Yeah, then I feel then I'm really just pissed Sarah went home.
That was the dupe.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, then yes. I am less mad at Sarah and, then just fuck production's all I got.
I mean, you can still be mad at her. Like, she should have played the idol anyways, but like...
She should have. It just wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have done anything.
Honestly, I don't really feel that bad for her, because at this point, Ponderosa is Helen, Sarah, Maddie...
It is poppin'.
And Claire. It's going to be a fun place. Like, yeah, I don't blame anyone for wanting to join that action at this point. Dang. Yeah. All right. Tim, how did you feel? What were your quick hits?
As we were saying before we jumped on this pod, I felt like it was a little like out of the ordinary in some ways, but I don't know. The twist, we'll get into it later. I didn't really feel too great about too positively about the twist. I felt it was kind of predictable. The challenge I thought was pretty solid. They packed a lot into this episode, so
let's get right to it. You brought up the challenge. Man, how great was it when you heard the words "reward challenge" come out of your Jeff's mouth? Because I'll be honest, I was tweaking. I'm like, they're over here and they're gonna hit us with an immunity challenge 5 minutes into this episode. Like, that is my conditioning at this point, is to think we're only gonna get one. And so when Jeff was like reward, I was like, oh sweet baby boy, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that. Although, like, it is a bit more exciting when the reward's like food or something interesting instead of a tarp. But
I felt differently. I mean, I agree that the tarp was not interesting, especially because the merge is in like 4 days. So do you really need a tarp for like if you lost this challenge, you were more upset about losing your flint than you were about missing out on a tarp,
Yeah.
But I'm sure you still want it. I thought that I really missed the rewards where they went and like did something. Them having a tarp is great. Them getting a basket of fresh fruit, I'm sure, is lovely for them. I miss seeing, Danielle and Amanda fighting over advantages while Colby's watching Treasure Island in his bed. What happened to that? Make Survivor great again, okay?
Or like the cultural immersion type experience.
That's why Africa ages so well. It's such a lovely season because they actually like connect with their location, which is something we don't get at all anymore. But yeah,
or even the theme.
I think
just like have like a medieval times like themed award.
I understand that the 26 days, it's here to stay, and that they're trying to make rewards less extravagant to like make up for that. Can we just have nicer rewards less frequently, maybe? Like, Maybe there's only a couple rewards a season and each has their own challenge to get. I don't know. I just feel like boring rewards aren't interesting. I guess that's oxymoronic, but still. Yeah, I don't quite know how to fix rewards with the shorter game, but there is a way to do it.
Probably.
And even if I did have the perfect suggestion for how to fix it, Jeff would still go on social media and be like, we'd love to bring the auction back. There's just no decent way of fixing it when there's literally the easiest fix ever that every person on social media has talked about. But it's fine.
And what is that solution?
Just say at the start of the auction, there is no advantages. All this is food. Or say, if you want to put an advantage in there so bad, say, there is one advantage, but it is randomly with a food item. So there's no point in holding, like, there's no point on waiting. You know?
You know, I think part of it is probably just, like, they wouldn't be able to do that without Jeff, like, somehow trying to sneak an advantage in there.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Like, I'm sure there are people on the production team who have brought this up before, and Jeff is, like, frothing at the mouth.
No, we gotta stick an advantage in there. We gotta do it.
Gotta put some sort of twist in there.
No, you can't just give the people what they want. They don't know what they want. They want advantages. You know, they thought they had a good episode last week where they got to see tribe life. No, you tell them fuck themselves and let's just slap more advantages and twists at them. Sorry. I was just annoyed that we got such a nice episode last week, and this week there was not an ounce of anything that wasn't about an advantage or a twist.
Or just the game in general, right?
Yeah, but I even feel like most of the strategy this episode was based on advantages and twists. Okay. Like there was no just like straight up alliance making or scheming. It was pretty much like this person, you know, they just got sent to our tribe. They have to have an I don't know. Just a lot of advantage talk.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't bad advantage talk. It was neutral. I just don't like advantage talk very much.
So anything else about the reward challenge?
I have plenty of other things.
Okay.
Number one, I don't know what was up with that catapult, but something was up. There is no way that everyone not named Caroline shot like 95% on that thing. And then, I mean, even with Caroline like messing it up 80,000 times, I feel like they were still shooting about 80%.
It's all in editing.
But yeah, it's got to either be all in editing or they let him practice, right? I don't know.
I mean,
it felt weird. You got to show me a little more failure, though.
Historically on Survivor, that has been like a thing that people struggle with. So
that's why I thought it was weird.
Maybe everyone just built one in their backyard, you know?
Carson 3D printed everyone one before they came out here.
Everyone's got a slingshot.
I also think that if Carolyn spent as much time or as much effort doing the challenge as she does screaming at the challenge, she might be a bit better at that. Like, I know the thing's hard to pull, but releasing it and then just screaming when it's short, not the best solution for like getting better. Like, it's a pretty binary. Okay, if the last one's too short, I need to take another step further back. And like, I get it's might be hard to pull, but she just kept standing in the same spot, which I thought was weird. I don't know. Not a lot of
Danny, on the other hand, his strategy is just like somersaulting around on.
I don't think Danny can do anything at less than 150% of his energy. Like, I'm pretty sure it'd physically kill him.
He's just parkouring around like legend.
Dude is half monkey, and I love him for it. Yeah. Let's get to the twist, shall we? Unless you have anything else on the challenge.
No, we can get to the twist.
So you said you weren't a big fan. I actually liked it. I don't mind a one-person tribe swap. I think my problem was giving them a free idol and then sending them to tribes of like 4 people.
Right.
You agree that they need some advantage if you're gonna like swap screw them? But just the ratio and the numbers that were wrong. Maybe an extra vote is kind of a better way to subside it. I just feel like an idol's really powerful in a tribe of 4.
I mean, I wrote it down right here. Like, I was taking notes, as always. Well, maybe not last week. As the show's going on. And like, okay, there's really only one way this is going to play out, right? This new person they're going to switch to this new tribe. People are going to target them, and they're going to play the idol. That's exactly how it's going to play out. And I guess the edit kind of made it seem like that wouldn't happen. But of course, that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
It was just a very predictable.
I mean, there's just like, it would be dumb to do it
advantage.
any other way. Like, unless you vehemently hate someone on your tribe, I mean, there's not enough of, like, when there's only one person coming, unless you're in a near split, there's no point in defecting. Like, if you're the sole defector, it just makes you look moronic. I mean, I guess Carolyn was the sole defector and it worked out okay for her, but yeah, I just feel like they were forced to play these idols, which isn't bad. It's just, I don't know. Something about the mechanics of this weren't entirely like thought through with how binary.
I also find it feels weird that production is just like giving them an idol.
Yeah, just straight up, here you go.
I saw a tweet probably in the last week between episodes, and it was like, remember when idols used to be like extremely difficult to find? Like you'd get a clue every day, and it was like super vague. It would take you pretty much every day till the merge to actually find this thing, or like I don't know. It was crazy difficult to find an idol. Now it's just, oh, there's an idol every week.
I think I completely agree with you on this point. I think that Survivor like put itself into like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or there's like a term for this I'm blanking on. So someone's raging at me right now the way that I rage at Carson for but I feel like Survivor cast people who weren't the most interested in the game. You know, like let's talk like, you know, nasty 20s. Let's talk the dark ages, right? They put a bunch of people in the game who didn't really want to play the game. You know, the people they sought out, the models who were cast because they were models, not because they liked Survivor. And then they found that the only way to make the game interesting with those people is to soup it up with advantages. And I think they were right. It was the only way to make the game interesting with a lot of the way they cast the 20s. I think now that we're in this era of super fans, I would be curious to see what an advantage game, like I know advantage free will never happen, but like a reasonable advantage game where it doesn't feel like production is literally throwing them at you.
Yeah. That would be pretty interesting.
I'm not saying it would work. It might fail miserably. Like, I could see a game where there's not enough advantages, like actually being awful. But I mean, why not give it a shot? You know?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking earlier. I was like, well, have they actually ever tried not doing advantages in a recent season? No. Like they don't know how it's going to play out. I'm sure production is like poring over these decisions in some conference room somewhere for hours and hours a day, and they're thinking about it more than we are as fans.
For sure.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's just Jeff Probst like throwing stuff at a wall.
I mean, I have a feeling that production is a lot of great work, and then Jeff comes in and says, "No, I don't think that's actually how it goes." But I could kind of see it going that way.
Yeah, but you're right. It would be interesting to see them at least try that and see how it plays out.
I feel like we have enough interesting people where we don't need these advantages for television anymore. Like, what was more interesting this episode? Watching like Jam Jam go full Godfather mode and tell everyone what to do, and then Carolyn get pissed with him, or was, you know, I guess the fake idol, Carolyn's fake idol was pretty interesting. That wasn't bad, but like, let's think back to like Summit Island, or is Summit Island more interesting? And I feel like most people are going to say watching Carolyn get angry at Jam Jam is objectively more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, that probably less entertaining for like the casual viewer who's not committed to watching every week. So maybe that's who we're trying to appease. I don't know.
Yeah. And then,
all right. So who's happy with their tribe swap? Who's pissed? Josh has got to be pissed.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Soka's. Well, I shouldn't say probably. Definitely, Soka was a dominant tribe. He seemed like he was a. If you saw, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the episode, but like the first thing is Josh talking about how he thinks he's in a good spot at Soka, being in the middle, kind of, which we didn't see at all, right?
Yeah,
maybe we did a little bit last week, but
I think we got like the hint of it that he might be lower on the chopping block. But to your point, it was made very explicit quickly in the episode that was the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he talks about like being kind of close with Matt and Franny, and then kind of being close with the other two. So it seems like obviously this episode is kind of set up to be around him. It's his episode. um, if I was coming from a dominant tribe and ending up on that tribe, I would not be happy. Jamie's probably happy with moving to Soka.
I think Jamie would be happy with anything. Like, she just seems like a really optimistic lady. I don't know. I enjoy Jamie's confessionals quite a bit, actually.
She has, from her perspective, 2 idols. As they laid out, I don't know if you caught it in like when they showed the name. It said like 1 fake immunity idol, 1 real immunity idol next to her name.
Yeah.
Because you gotta keep track.
I appreciated the distinction for us.
Gotta keep track of those advantages. So she's probably pretty happy. I think. Oh, I literally wrote down in my notes, Evan is going to be happy. He's a big Soka guy now. He likes Jamie. She's at Soka now. Awesome.
I like Josh too, so I was a little sad to see Josh have to descend into the chaos, but I do love Soka. I honestly, those 4, like the true Soka 4 are probably my 4 favorite people left in the game, I would say.
Yeah, that's 100%.
I do like a lot of those people. And like half of Orange has just been invisible, by the way. I was thinking about it today. Like,
yeah.
If Lauren didn't go to Summit Island in the first episode, we wouldn't know shit about her. We still don't, outside of a glorious slow-mo epic fail at the challenge. Like, we don't know barely anything about Kane. We know he likes to get knighted.
He looks like giant Seth Rogen.
I can't even tell you who else is on that tribe. Matthew, who is the only person we do hear from, I feel like, on that tribe consistently. Jamie was there. She's not anymore. Carson is.
Brandon,
thank you. Yeah, Brandon's been kind of invisible outside of the first episode too. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like the Orange Tribe isn't getting their due. So maybe they're really good characters, but like Green Tribe, I like that core of Green Tribe.
I think they're teasing Orange a little bit next week.
Seeing
how
so.
Carson fits into that tribe. We'll see that a little bit more.
Honestly, like when we got back from Summit Island and the way the narratives were crafted, like I do like focusing on the edit a lot. I was kind of annoyed because I feel like they made it very transparent that Orange was not going to lose this week. Like, basically, kind of my summary of that section was like, Tika came back and Tika talked all about their, like, what they're going to do with Josh now, what the plan is for their group. Then they go to Orange, and it's all just about how Carson and Matthew are going to plot for the future and how they're going to earn each other's trust. And then you go to Green, and it's again like, here's what we're going to do if we go home tonight. I saw like it was like kind of a dead giveaway that, okay, Orange probably isn't going to Tribal Council tonight. And that was correct.
It was shot after the challenge.
Yeah, facts. I didn't do the challenge at least.
Right. Oh yeah, and props to Sarah for kind of like catching Josh in a lie there when he was saying that he was like a physical therapist or something. Physical trainer,
I had that
personal trainer.
Something. Sarah's consultancy skill set coming into play. What great deductive reasoning.
And just like some offhand comment that he made during a challenge. Yeah, good on her. Good catch.
Yeah, I agree. No, she was like really observant. I think she would have had another player where I'd be interested to see another pre-merge attorney. I'd be happy to see again. I'd put it that way. I think the one other thing that happened after the tribe swap that we didn't talk about yet that was kind of a big deal, Danny just ripping through that bag. Oh, that was hilarious. Like, he's like, someone should go through her bag. And then everybody just kind of looked, and then he's like, I'm on it. And just like ran to go do it. I loved it.
They're like still thinking about it, and he just like was already in the bag.
He was already like feeling her stuff up. Like, yeah, no, it was hilarious. I really appreciate him. He feels like someone who doesn't overthink things in a very like positive way. Which is just, again, a really nice breath of fresh air in the superfan era. Just this guy who's kind of gonna go full send all the time and not worry too much.
Yeah, you gotta love him.
You do. You gotta love
challenge. The challenge.
I actually didn't have much on the immunity challenge. I think this is kind of a boring challenge. It's one I wish they wouldn't repeat again. I do like the puzzle. I just think the like swim, jump, grab thing, balance beam is a lot of not interesting components to me. That being said, sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say I kind of like the relay challenges in some ways, because you really get that. you do separate the weaker tribes in a way.
Yeah, I don't
or the
mind the
weaker
relay.
players.
Like, I thought
And
the reward relay was really good because, right, that was kind of the same thing, one person at a time going through a course, accomplishing a goal, and then finishing. But sorry, continue.
I was gonna say it kind of separates the tribes. So you might have a tribe that's already finished the puzzle before the other tribes have even got to the puzzle or like finished the relay portion.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is more interesting than like, okay, everyone's on the puzzle at once and the difference is pretty small. I think the relay definitely has that potential to separate the weaker tribes from the really strong ones.
I
So
also
it
like
makes
that
for
there's a lot of like individual, what's the right word? Like individual accountability, right? Like if you perform poorly, everyone sees it. It's not like, oh, you're all just pushing this one big object, so you can't really tell who's doing what and who isn't. Like this one is very like binary. You did well or you didn't.
Yeah, it's very transparent.
Yeah, good word. Good word.
Another thing I wrote down was every time there's a balance beam in the challenge, you know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
You can't watch the balance beam challenge without thinking about Debbie, right?
Oh, Debbie. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. You know what I was thinking during that challenge, Tim? During the balance
What were
beam
you
portion?
thinking?
If I have to watch one more person with shitty balance go as slow as humanly possible over a balance beam, I will lose my mind. That's like the worst way you can do it. Just let your inertia carry you as you run across. Like I know it's wet,
Right.
it's a little harder, but like just use your body to help you. Like I don't know why these big dudes with wet feet are trying to crawl over this thing instead of just ripping it.
Yeah, it's definitely a painful watch, and I don't think it's really that long. You could probably jump.
You could literally take like 2 steps, like a good 1-2 leap, you're across.
You might slip and like kill
eat
yourself
shit on the back of your head, but it's fine. You know, it didn't like medevac Bruce or anything. I promise. Oops, too soon.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say.
I will say I can't remember if I brought this up yet. The editor, I like the editing this episode in terms of like the actual mechanical, like cuts, music, shots.
Mm-hmm.
They did Lauren so dirty with that slow-mo failure of the like a pathetic jump. I'm sure her feet just slipped. Still, they did her so dirty with that camera angle and everything. It's like they knew that she was gonna mess up when they put that camera there. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of commenting like, oh, she's taking so long to get ready to like do this jump, like she was fixing her buff or something, and then she missed the like she like walked up to it and missed it.
Belly dove.
I mean, I guess it's not really her fault. The challenge kind of favors tall people for that portion.
Yeah, I don't think it's her fault. I mean, tall people. I think she got a bad jump. It looked like she went out really horizontal. It happens. It's wet.
Yeah,
you're gonna slip. Wasn't a big deal.
She picked up the slack in the puzzle though. So
yeah, she did. Honestly, every puzzle group did pretty well. Like even Josh and Sarah, they weren't great, but they weren't bad. There were no puzzle slouches this time.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then yeah,
back to camp.
That's all I've got on the challenge. Yeah, back to camp. Well, here I was this whole time being an idiot, thinking that Sarah's got a real idol. So this really changes a lot of my perspective. But my bad, everyone. I'm an idiot. Oh, gonna get flamed for not watching the episode closely enough. Oh no. I was really rooting for Jam Jam to get eliminated by virtue of a triple idol play with his Godfather turn, but it wasn't to be, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I really have too many notes about pre-tribal. I kind of saw the vote coming.
It was pretty predictable. I thought what was going to happen.
Literally, the way that things have been happening these past few weeks, it's like, okay, Sarah's going home. It's another young woman.
Yeah. I was gonna. That is my one comment from pre-tribal. Why is there no consideration for Jam Jam? We didn't hear anything about it. Like, not even so much as a passing comment. And he's the one, like, pissing Carolyn off. Like, why is Carolyn immediately on the Sarah train? Why are we not talking about voting Jam Jam here? I'm not sure I get it. Like, literally, it's just, Sarah's a big threat. We gotta take care of her. And then we're not even glancing at Jam Jam? I don't know. I thought that was weird.
You gotta keep the tribe strong.
Right before the merge is the best time to keep the tribe strong. You're right, Tim. I'm with you. Speaking of right before the merge, I'm gonna jump into tribal because I don't think you said you had anything else.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, the only part of tribal I really have a big comment on, it was like a very blah tribal again. I thought outside of who was our made up friend, that was great. Felicia was there.
Bye, Felicia.
Jeff said, "You guys are only 9 days in. You're only." Bro, it's a 27 or 26-day game. That's a third of it. You're not only 9 days in. You're comfortably in the middle of the game at this point.
Yeah. The merge is probably going to be like, I don't want to say next week.
I think it's 2 weeks from now. Based on 41 to 43 should be next. Or
they still got another week to see those people play their idols. Maybe a double tribal next week.
Ooh. That could be. Although
Matthew, they're not going to give. They're going to give 3 people idols and only give like 1 or 2 people a chance to use them, right?
I don't know. I feel like that's decently reasonable.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
If Matthew decides to medevac himself,
that could be interesting.
I struggle with the the villain, like evil, chaotic edit, and then like these flashes of like, my shoulder hurts too much, I can't be here. I'm sure you are in excruciating pain, but then don't be a baddie on other stuff. Like, choose if you're going to be a baddie or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an odd dichotomy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like an effective liar. Like, man, I'm sold, and he's literally telling me about how he's lying, and I'm like, no, I believe you. I think you're for real. He's a very effective liar.
Yeah, definitely makes for an interesting character. I'm not sure if I like him.
It's very Shan-esque to me.
It's not like a likable quality.
It's not a rootable villainry. It's not, and it's not a like chaotic one either. It's just straight up like correct, like logical villainry, I guess is how to describe his game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's making the right plays, but they're just kind of boring.
Yeah. Anything else with tribal?
I had Sis Carolyn is staring daggers at you. Play that idol. Like these are either sympathy looks or anxious looks, and either's a good idol prompt. Again, I thought it was a real one, so it was a little more matchy and play it. But yeah, I don't know. I like Carolyn. I can't. Sometimes she's just so unpredictable that I can't tell if she's either like a good actress or she's just like, was she actually just crazy angry all tribal long? I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of on the other end. I was like, did Jam Jam let that slip on purpose?
I think Jam Jam totally let that slip on purpose.
Right.
But I couldn't tell how annoyed she actually was with it. To
convince Josh or Sarah or whoever that Carolyn might be the vote.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which was a good move, I guess.
Yeah, I think that works. It wasn't like a... Yeah, I think Jam Jam, again, outside of just saying, like, getting back to tribal, okay, Carolyn, you're going to be the decoy vote. Like, outside of doing that, I mean, he played this episode fine. Like, it was pretty standard, solid play, I'd say. That was just his episode to me. It was, like, standard, solid. There was no massive gaffes, nothing incredibly exciting. This was just, an episode that needed to happen, I guess, for lack of better words. Had to progress the story somehow.
I mean, the fallout next week might be interesting, but
the scene from next week with Josh and Jam Jam should be. Those are two very different personalities going at it. I'm kind of hyped for that.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about Tribal. It's unfortunate to see Sarah going home. I initially thought she was pretty dry, but I guess in the last few episodes, she's kind of come up as like a more strategic player that was more interesting than I thought she would be. So kind of sad to see her go. She seemed like an interesting person.
Yeah, that is like the one tough thing about having a good cast where you like most of the people. It's like kind of no matter who like goes to tribal, you're kind of upset about it. Or like no matter who goes home, you're a little upset. Like I don't even like Carson that much, but if Carson went home this early, I'd be like, dang, I kind of wanted to see him like go down in flames or like actually make a great big move, you know?
You,
Like
you
he's not
wanted
someone
to
that I actually like vehemently loathe or something.
you
Um,
wanted to see him get completely flamed at final tribal council by someone.
he
I
seems like
don't.
he actually has like decent person skills where I don't think that would happen. But you know what I mean though? I just feel like there's no one that feels like a safe vote out. Where again, when you had those boring not the whole cast was boring, but you had a lot of more mediocre personalities in some of those
Mm-hmm.
casts. You had a lot of people you could root for to go home early because they didn't seem interesting. And here, you guys kind of thinking about, it, I'm like, who do I want to see go home? And it's just the only people I'm down to see go home are the ones we just haven't heard much from. And so I think that's more a byproduct of us not having heard much from them instead of them being bored.
Yeah,
It is just a little more melancholy when every person is someone you're curious to see what they could do in the game, which I guess is a good problem to have. But
I 100% agree. I think we definitely touched on this last week in our discussion because we fumbled the ball in other areas. We are just talking about the cats for a while.
true.
But yeah, I, I'm excited to see her go home. Um, 4 women gone, Bruce
So
gone.
awful. It's so
Also,
bad.
not a good look for Survivor. What was the tweet that we saw that I sent
Oh,
you?
yeah. Zach was asking what will there be more of left in the game after tonight, idols or women? Um,
Yeah, it was
I
a
don't think
Twitter
we want to
poll.
know the answer. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, just not
Um,
not a great look.
yeah, I would agree. It's just tough. I'm trying to figure out which of my two preseason takes aged more terribly, my winner pick who went home second, or my all women's alliance when there's not going to be any women left to make an all women's alliance by the merge. Um, really tough draw to figure out which of those predictions was worse.
I think the preseason picks. Do you want to do a repick or something?
Ooh, should we do a repick? I don't want to have to do it right now if I fly. Should we do next week? 'Cause
Maybe
I think
next
the
week.
merge at the end of next episode we'll give one for the with the merge on the horizon.
I think that would be a good idea because
I think that's a great
honestly,
idea. We
we
need someone to
we
root
made
for.
our. I think we should have done our winner picks maybe after the first episode or something.
No,
I
Tim,
don't know if
we're not
that.
losers.
Okay.
We full send.
Okay, that's not fair.
That's
Okay,
cheating.
but having a winner pick like right off the bat when you know absolutely nothing about these people aside from their interviews pre-game, I don't know if that's really fair. I don't know if I would have changed mine too much. Maybe I would have. Claire was kind of.
I stand by my winner pick. I think Helen was great. I think this season plays out differently. She's fine. Sarah doesn't lose her vote. I think Helen's chilling.
I think I probably would have changed my winner pick after like the first or second episode because
You know
Claire
what's
was kind of
funny
rubbing people the wrong way.
is actually like Claire was my initial winner pick too, and then I was like, no, like I just feel like she's very good. Like I think she'll do really well, but I just feel like she's gonna rub enough people the wrong way where she won't be able to get the votes at the end. I do feel kind of vindicated in that thought, but
You saw
yeah,
it coming.
yeah, not this early. I did not see it coming this early. Like, I thought she would have not that much trouble getting to the merge because she seemed likable enough. But again, now that we have people who are all generally likable and aren't duds, harder to make the merge.
Yeah. So again, folks, we had a solid episode. Um, maybe not as great as last week's. Not so
Not bad
happy
though.
we're having more women going home.
Tragic. We're
Well,
pissed about it. And we're not even getting
anything else?
Ponderosa videos to see all of our queens thriving and partying it up. How tragic.
Yeah, none of that. Anything else to add before we
Tim, how's your March
log off?
Madness bracket doing?
Uh, I think it's doing okay. I think I'm in the middle of our pool or something.
Nice. Nice. I think I'm in last in every group I'm in. Outside of my work pool, which is too big to be last. You had to be a moron to be last in that one, but
It, it's just gonna come down to whose winner picks go further in a lot of my groups.
fair. But on
So
that note, I got nothing else for you.
we'll be back next week, sometime after the episode airs, probably within a day or two, as usual.
We're very good at committing to a schedule. Very good.
Yep. you can always count on us to have it out probably before the weekend. But this has been Buffs and Blindsides. We'll be back with episode 5 next week. Thanks for listening.